work on adding mixed numbers. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Our first problem is 2 3/4 plus 3 3/10. So the first thing you should notice is that our denominators are not the same. So we need to go ahead and find our equivalent fractions to make common denominators. So I know the rule is typically when there's a 10, you just multiply the two numbers together. But in this one, a T-chart is going to help us out. So let's go ahead and create our T-chart. 4, 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16, 20. So as you can see, this is why I wanted to make the T-chart for this one, because 20 is going to be our common denominator instead of having to go all the way up to 40. We are going to start simplifying our fractions. I know that's something we haven't done until now, but it's something we need to get in the habit of doing. So let's go ahead and make our equivalent fractions. We've got 2 and something over 20. To get to that 20, I multiplied by 5, so we'll multiply by 3 by 5 as well. Because remember, whatever you do to the denominator, you also have to do to the numerator. 3 times 5 gets me 15. 20 down here, I multiplied 10 times 2 to get to 20, so multiply my numerator times 2 as well, and I get 6. Now we can add. Let's add our fractions first. I know I'm going to add straight across. 20 is going to still be my denominator. 15 plus 6 is going to get me 21. So I've got 5 and 21 twentieths. Now, 21 twentieths is an improper fraction, so we cannot have that. So we need to change our 21 twentieths. We need to pull out 20 twentieths, or 1 whole, and add that to our 5. So if we add that to our 5, we're going to get 6. If we pull out 20 twentieths from 21, we're going to end up with 1 20th. So the answer to 2 3/4 plus 3 3/10 is 6 and 1 20th. Let's do another one. We've got 5 3/4 plus 1 1/3. Let's T-chart it up. 4, 8, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 is going to be our common denominator. So let's rewrite this fraction. I had to multiply 4 by 3 to get me to 12. And if I multiply the denominator, you have to multiply the numerator. 3 times 3 is 9. Let's do the other fraction. Bring that one down. 12 is my denominator. 3 times 4 got me 12. So multiply the 1 times 4, and then I'll get me 4. So let's go ahead and add it up. Add our fractions first. 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 twelfths. We have 6 and 13 twelfths. Just like the one above it, we can't have an improper fraction. So let's go ahead and pull out 12 twelfths, which equal 1, and take that 1 over to the 7. That's going to get me 7. 13 minus 12 leaves us with 1. 7 and 1 12th. Seeing a pattern here, I wonder if all of us are going to make us rename them. Let's move this one down a little bit so we have more room. 3 4/5 plus 2 3/10. I hope in your brain you look at these denominators and you think common denominator is 10. Super simple. You don't have to make your T-chart every single time once you start to figure out what your common denominators are going to be. In your mind, you should be able to figure out some multiples. Now, when we start to get to numbers like 12 and 18, that might get a little bit more difficult. But with numbers like this, it's pretty simple. So let's go ahead and find our equivalent fraction. 5 times, I wrote that wrong. Common denominator is going to be 10. 5 times 2 got me 10. So multiply 4 times 2 as well, and I'm going to have 8. I also wrote a 4 there. Wow. It's been a long day. Always double check your work. 3 8/10 plus 2 3/10. 9, 10, 11. We've got 11 tenths, definitely seeing a pattern. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 and 11 tenths. So same as before, we're going to pull out 10 tenths, which equals 1. Put that with the 5, I get 6 and 1/10. Remember, I have 1/10 left because I had to pull out 10 from 11. 11 minus 10 is 1. 6 and 1/10 is our answer. Let's do another one. Is this our last one? It might be. 1 3/10 plus 2 2/5. Just like the one above. In your brain, you should be thinking, hey, that common denominator is going to be 10. So I can go ahead and bring down that first fraction, making sure I'm writing it correctly. Common denominator is 10. I multiplied the 5 times 2 to get me 10. 2 times 2 gets me 4. 1 3/10 plus 2 4/10. Add the 3 and the 4, we get 7. 3 7/10. We don't have to do anything else to this. We can't simplify it, so it is done the way it is. I hope you understood how to add mixed numbers with some renaming. If you have any questions about it, make sure to rewatch the video. And if you still have questions, make sure to ask your teacher.